Right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to decide to build a little goods shed for Hobbs End. It only just fits in, but we can extend the baseboard a little bit. The two tracks we have, ignoring the other part of it, that part of it, with two tracks what go in. There's a 4.5 inch gap between the rails. It's the same on the other goods shed, so I can get a wall in between the goods shed and a little tiny office. It means me extending the baseboard in this little part just a little bit wider, but it's tucked away in some bushes. We took a little film so you could see where it was. So what you've got there, that's the goods shed itself. It's like 12 inches by 11. There's an office on the side of it which is 6x4. We're thinking of extending this part of the baseboard down as well. Just where there's some sheep there at the moment, but we might make that a little parking spot with a bit of a wall or a fence there, just to add to this bit. That's how I've quickly drawn it, just so you can see what I'm going to do. That's the front part, a 6 inch gap, 8 inches high to there. We've decided to do that arched. I mean, I just drew it square because it showed me just roughly where I wanted it. So you've got the front part, the back. The front of this part, this wall there, will obviously be where there's a great big double doors in to get goods on and off. There's a window there to look where a weight bridge is just alongside of it. Might even put that in there, but I ain't got a lot of space. And the back will be a brick wall, which is this wall here. So what we've done is now is we cut a first piece out and we've just bricked it out. So this is this wall, and that's the shape of the office. Obviously the office is tall, but in real life it isn't, because the platform starts here. When you think inside you're unloading wagons, they are 1 inch off on our scale, they're about 1 inch. So I've done mine with 1 inch, and of course then it shortens the office, but we'll have to put some little steps outside to go into the office. We decided to arch it. We thought that was nice and easy and looks a bit nice, so we've done that one. I cut that piece out, obviously. This is the back part, a reversal of that one. Don't forget to draw it on the opposite side, so when it turns round, the match up. I have done that one before today, where I've cut the other one exactly the same, and you're thinking, how did that happen? But it's easy. And these, all we do to mark them is I bought a set a few years ago, a big compass, draw my lines in so I can draw that one, and then extended it to draw the next one, which is just a matter of winding it out and drawing that one. And then I use a scriber. It's obviously, being an engineer, model engineer, I have all these little bits as well, so I sharpened these off and I made that like a little razor, you know, sharp edge on it. Pop that in there and I literally press that in so it gives me that groove, and the same with the long one. And then take another small pair of compass and do them at my brick size, which is 1/4 inch, and the easiest way to do them is just to go along and mark them in 1/4 all the way along at the right one. That's it, like so. And then draw a line from there with a ruler, the original starting point from there, and just dissect that, turn that round to the next one 1/4, keeping it on there and working your way around, and that gives you the right angles for them, that it looks nice and neat. So, and then I draw my standard 1/4 inch lines across. Obviously this bit I didn't draw that because I'd put the lines in because it was easier, but the back one obviously needs that bit in. So what I'll do now is put all the brickworks in, which I've done in that particular part, so you can see where I've done with that. I've allowed 1/2 inch here on this one, so the building will be 1/2 inch back, and that's because when we make the doors they'll be folded inwards or outwards. I'll have to have a look which way they would go. Probably outwards, not in railways, because how could you shut a wagon inside? So probably outside. So we'll have the doors from there outwards, and you can see them as well. So I'll carry on doing me 1/4 inches and draw this one out. Right, here's our good shed. We've been doing bits on it, and we're just going to do a little bit more today for it. We've done all the brickwork. As you can see, we put the windowsills in, we put the window frames in this side. We made a little tiny office with windows in, a door with some steps because it will be at the same height as obviously the platform inside. I've got the platform inside to do. So today what we made was a roof. We made the roof exactly the same as we normally would. I just cut it out because you might get some of the odd pictures inside of this one. So we thought we'd make a separate roof, and obviously that just drops in there and drops on. So that's our roof ready for tiling. This roof we stuck on, we didn't see the need to make a separate one for that part. And that's it ready for painting on that score. And what I thought was, on the road side, obviously that's the railway side, on the road side, what I might do is put a little canopy on. So what I've done, I've cut some pieces out the triangles of the roof. It seemed to make use of them. So I think if I can work out the angle, they come out of there. So I just cut some triangles off to make some little bits on that. March want 2 ends, obviously opposite for panelling, and just cut the middle ones out with a little gap in, so it just gives it a little bit more character. And then what I'm going to do next, so I can go in there out of the way, I'm going to make a tin roof, which will just go on there, so it gives a little bit of shelter. So what I'm going to do now is I've marked this out, not easy to see, at 3/16. So, and just use my ordinary square. I'll pop my glasses on, I can't see without them. And then it's just a 3/16. I use, this is my actual punch for popping holes, my hole centre popper. I just use that, draw it down a couple of times, go to the next line, go to the next line, go to the next line, and just work my way down. When it's painted, we use black because we bought a lot of black when we had the option. The chap who we get our stuff off had a massive amount of black 3mm, so we decided to buy it. Now I must have enough to do the roofs for a long while, you know, 8 I think they're 8-foot strips, be about 10 inches wide. But at the end of the day we can start under the railway, so it's always going to come in handy. But it paints up, when you do it like this, to paint it tin, I think Pat just paints it silver. I'm not quite sure how she starts off. It gets painted silver, she adds rusted and a few bits and pieces, and it's as simple as that. And we don't go, I mean, you could go deeper if you wanted. You could make it that little bit deeper by going something a little bit more rounder than that. But that, when it's on there, looks quite effective, and it'll just give that a little bit of shelter for the goods wagons. Right, so that's our corrugated roof done. So we've corrugated that. I've pushed it back a little bit so it makes it look a little bit thinner on the edges. I've glued the little bits onto the back, so it's going to go into there. So we're just going to pop that into there like that, so. Just to give it a little bit of strengthening, what I'll do is I'll just glue some strips in, making sure that the keep away from the back edge, because that's the back edge has got to fit to the wall. So just drop them back so they don't go past this edge, Just pop them in there. Same again. I took off the corners on these little strips where the edge is sitting down, purely because if you put glue in there, there is a little tiny ridge. So the easiest answer is take that ridge off the next piece, and then it won't interfere with anything. Press that in. I mean, I'll just put my little bit accelerant on because it keeps me going then faster. And the same with the last one. Like I say, I've just trimmed them little edges off. That's in case there's a little edge at the bottom. Put it on either side. Drop this one in, making sure it's not going to run in, touch anything on the wall. And that straightens it up. That just gives it the extra support underneath to put on there. And then what we'll do then is we'll paint the brickwork first, and then we'll pin this in there. Get out of it. There we are, like that. And that just gives it somewhere to keep the goods dry when they're being unloaded. And just to finish the front off, what I'm going to do is I've cut some strips so they just go in there. I'll cut that to fit so it fits nice and flush. A little pencil line on there. That's my piece I need. And we'll cut down there. And there we are. And that's like that. And that will pop in there. Line it up so it's nice and square. And that gives you that front there like that. And we'll do the other two pieces to match. We use black. I was saying earlier that we use a black one, but it doesn't really matter. It's whatever suits you. I mean, we got black because it was available, and we got it nice and cheap off the chapel we use. White wouldn't make any difference. You made it in white, it wouldn't make any difference. You probably, maybe the best answer if you're doing tin roofs is to spray it black from the off as an undercoat, and then paint it silver, because silver will show up better on the black. Right, there we are. I've glued the front piece in, so it just gives it that extra support, keeps it nice and square. I've popped it in, just put a couple of pins in just to hold it on so we can see where it's going, and that's how it will look on the railway. Quite a nice attraction to it. Gives it a little bit more character. We've got chimneys and everything on this side. This is the side we're going to be seeing. This side is next to the railway and the siding alongside of it. I might put fascia board on here just to give that a little bit more depth. And it's now ready to go to the paint department, so that's it finished for that part. I've got the floor to put in. I don't know if I've got a spare bit down there. If I have, I might use it, but I don't think I have, so I'll probably wait till I get a spare bit just to put that floor in, and then that's it finished, ready for the paint. And once it's painting, we'll start adding details to it.
I've done the roof, or the canopy on this one, so we've done it in corrugated iron. Inside I've painted, we've got the platforms to put in, well, the platform on this side anyway, so I've got that painted inside. So now what I'm going to do now is the roofs. So what I'll be doing is tiling them, and if you've seen our videos before you'll know that's done, but for those who haven't, we'll just be putting strips of slates made out of plastic card. So they're literally these strips. I'll put a piece along the bottom just to lift the first sets of slates up, and then they'll be glued on alternately, so each row of tiles falls in between another section, and I'll carry on doing that right to the top and continue with the other side. And the small roof here I'll be doing in same system, but probably a little bit smaller slate. So I'll carry on doing that and then we'll get back to you. I've done one side of the roof, I've nearly done the other side of the roof. So what I'm going to do now is I've just 2 more lengths of slate to put on, so I'm just going to chip the edge of these. Now to do this you need to just do it gently, don't go silly, and it's up to you how many chips you put in, how big a chips you put in, but you need to hold it still and firm, because if you go too hard it will pull it up and snap it. But even that's not a problem, because all you do is just add the piece on the roof, just super glue it on. So that's how quick that's easily done, but be very careful, keep your fingers and thumbs out the way. Okay, so as you can see that's now nicely chipped. Well, I'm hoping you can see it anyway, but it is chipped at the bottom. We don't tend to go wild. Now and again I will take a piece out of the slate, but on this occasion I'm not going to bother. So all I've got to do now is put these last 2 pieces on. Okay, so let's get to trimming the edges now. So I've taken the roof off and I'm going to turn it over. I hope you can see that. I don't think you can, so let me just adjust the camera a little bit. That's it. There we go. And what I'm going to do is make sure my blade's sharp in my knife from top to bottom, so that I'm not dragging against the slate. So just do a light, keep it straight to the edge of the roof, and just do a gentle stroke, because you're only sort of marking it in, and then just gradually add the pressure on. I think we're done for that one. So that's solved that one.